Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to My Cyberwall's Exercise Builder Part 4. So hopefully you've been with us in previous weeks, and we're going to pick up where we left off last time. So today we're going to do the two different drag and drop type of activities. First one's called a drag and drop grid, and the second one is called a drag and drop picture. So these are both auto-marked exercises. So these are the type of exercise that will save you a lot of time marking work. Also, your learners are going to love this one because it's very interactive and it's very fun. And if you don't have learners in your school, you can obviously do a demo on your smartboards or your overhead projector as well to make the lesson more interactive. Okay, so we're going to spend less than half an hour, and we're going to do the two different types. I'm going to share my screen, and I want to welcome everybody. It's Angela, and we've got Estelle here, and we have Stuart here to answer questions in the chat. And hopefully I'm going to turn my screen, and you should be able to see my screen now. If you can't, then please just type in the text box that in the chat that you can't see. Okay, so just a few how we're going to run it. First of all, I can't see you at all, but you can see me. You can type in the chat, and Estelle and Stuart will help you with any questions. I will come back into the room afterwards when we finish and see if there's any questions that still need to be answered. I have put a poll up as well, that if you don't mind doing at the end of the session, which is just a confidential question. We don't see your name or anything. It's really just to get your feedback about this training session. And the other thing is SACE points. So I know some of you are very keen to get your SACE points, and we don't know who would be interested in that and who isn't. So if you could just drop us an email after this session, just to info@mycyberwall.co.za, and just let us know if you do want to get the SACE points. It's 5 SACE points. You are supposed to have attended all 4 of the exercise builder sessions. If you haven't, you just need to confirm to us that you have watched the videos. So we will wait to hear from you if you do want to register for the SACE points, and then Estelle will be sending you the attendance register to sign, which you will put your SACE number on. Okay, so that's the admin out of the way, and let's now start on building our 2 drag and drops. So let's look at the first one, and I just want to show you an example of what we're going to do. So I'm going to grade 6 geography, and I'm going to one of the assessments, which is term 1. Let's just have a look at this one. So let's look at this. Hopefully you can see my screen. Part 1 is a multiple choice. We looked at that in week 2. And a true and false. We also looked at that in week 2. Part 3, here we go. This is a drag and drop. Now, in this example, we have the pictures in the first column, and the text is what gets dragged. Okay, you can obviously do this the other way around, whereas you could drag the pictures. You could have all pictures or all text, or one picture as the answer, or one picture as the question. So there's many different ways of doing a drag and drop. It's really a matching exercise, and that's what we're going to complete. So we're going to do one that's a little bit similar to this. We're going to keep it simple, and we're going to do, as we always do, go to educator exercises, and let's start building this drag and drop. Okay, so I'm not going to recap on every single screen here, but just again, this is the way that you build a new exercise, is you click on the yellow plus button here to create a new exercise. So let's do that. Okay, I've done that, and it's giving me my template, and I'm going to put the details of my exercise in, and I'm going to call this one Name the City. Okay, and I'm going to do it for geography. You can obviously use a matching exercise for any different subject. I'm putting it in geography grade 6. I'm putting it into climate. I'm putting it into population, and I'm putting it into people around the world. I'm going to publish it. Remember, the publish means it's live within your school, okay? So if you don't want people to see it, you keep it unpublished. I'm going to publish this because I want you to see what we're going to do. And also remember, the most important thing here is you do have to populate every single thing here from the drop down. Okay, if you don't, the system won't know where to put your exercise. So that's all you have to do is choose somewhere to put it from the drop downs, click on geography, and I'm going to press save. Okay, so I have already downloaded the photos that I want to use. So I'm now going to go to my preview screen, which is the first tab here, and I'm going to click on there. And again, I click on the plus button, and I'm going to choose my type of activity I want to build, which is a drag and drop grid. Okay, so I'm going to click on there, and you see the template has appeared. Now, first of all, just have a look at the top. There's the name of my exercise, which is called Name the City. This is, I think, the most important thing here is you must click this button to on, which means randomize your drag pool. What that means is to mix the answers up so they don't appear in sequence. Okay, if you don't switch that on, all the answers will appear in the correct sequence, which obviously you don't want. So I'm going to switch that on, and I'm also going to leave my drag items to 100%. And as per the short text and the hidden answer, I'm going to put an instruction in. So I clicked on the show activity instructions, and I'm going to put the instruction in. So you can copy and paste here or type. I'm going to say drag and drop the name of the city to match the correct photo. Okay, that's my instruction. Remember, I can do all sorts of things here to fancy this up. If you want to, you can put it in bold, you can make it in a color, you can center it, etc. As I've done here, you can make the text bigger. All of these work like a text editor in Word. So if I wanted it bigger, I would do that. I can put numbers, bullets, etc. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to undo all of that. And I'm just going to keep a normal instruction there. And I'm going to then press save. So I have my instruction. I'm also going to delete this dummy block with the Latin writing. So I've deleted that. And now I want to choose my layout. So my layout that I'm going to do is 2 blocks. So I'm going to put the name, I'm going to put the photo in first, and then I'm going to have my drag label here. But I also want to put a number in. So I'm going to choose a block, the 1 block, and I'm going to put my number in. Just show you how I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to paragraph space that. Okay, so that's my row there I've created for my number. Then I'm going to put my items in here. So I'm going to put a picture in here. And then in this one, I'm going to put my drag and drop grid label. Okay, so just before I do that, I've already got my photos saved in my downloads. So these are the photos that I want to use. I just also want to show you, it is important not to have your photos too large. Okay, I've got one here that's 163 kilobytes. So I think that's quite large. You want to keep your photos as small as possible because obviously it's going to slow things down if you've got a lot of learners using it at the same time. So we use a very nice little program called tinypng.com. It's free. And all you have to do is you take your photos and you just drag them into the box there. You can see it's compressing all of them. Actually, most of mine are already compressed. I'm going to just download them all, and it's going to come through in a zip file there. So I've compressed them all again, and that's my size. So I've saved a little bit of room there. Okay, so those are my photos that I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do here for number 1 is I'm going to select picture, and I'm going to go and get my first picture from my downloads. And remember, I compressed them. So let's do London first. Okay, and I can change the side of the picture with this slider. So I'm going to make it a bit, let's make them all 74. And then here, I'm going to put the name of the city in. So if we look at the wheel here, let's look at the options. I could have a picture being dragged in, or I could have text. I'm going to put text in here. So my answer is London. Okay, I could obviously do this the other way around as well. So I could have London in here as the text and the learners would drag the picture in, but there's many different ways you can do it. Okay, so that's my first row, and I think it's always advisable to press save. So you've got your template set up there. And now all you have to do is to copy down. Okay, so now I'm going to just copy that row down, and I'm just going to call it 2. I'm going to save, and I'm going to copy my next row down. I'm going to change my picture of London, and I'm going to put now New York in here, and I'm going to put my answer there. And then I'm going to maybe save it again. You never know with load shedding. Let's copy that down, and I'm going to put in number 3. Copy this down. You see how easy it is once you set it up. So this is going to be now number 3. I'm going to change this from New York. Let's do Sydney, and let's put in Sydney. Okay, I'm going to save it again because I'm cautious, and I'm going to copy that down. Again, copy that down, change my number to number 4, and I'm going to save it. I think you'll get the idea here. Let's just do this one more. I've got Rio de Janeiro there. So I'm going to just change my answer there to Rio de Janeiro. Okay, I could obviously do a lot more, but just for the sake of time today, I can see, yeah, we're on time, but I don't want to take too long. I'm just going to go and check that I'm happy with everything, and I'm going to save that. Let's close it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look at it. Remember, I put it in grade 6 geography. I put it in people around the world. And there we go. If I go to educator exercises, there's the one I've just created called Name the City. And remember, I've created, it looks quite nice, the exercise and the memo at the same time. Let's just check them. And then I would obviously go back and adjust or edit if I needed to. Here's the exercise. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at the memo, which has already been created as I did it. So you can see it took me like 5 minutes. There we go. There's my answers. So I could go and edit it if I want to make the pictures obviously bigger or smaller. Let's try it out. And so here's my drag items. And that's London. I think the next one was New York. And then I have Sydney. I'm going to drag in, and Rio de Janeiro. Let me drag that one in. There we go. Hopefully I've got them all right. So when you're a learner or when you're demonstrating, you press submit. Hopefully, there we go. You've got 4 out of 4 correct. And it's as easy as that to create a drag and drop. Remember, you don't have to use photos. You could use, you could have this as the name of the country. But yeah, any type of matching exercise, you would use the drag and drop grid. I'm going back to my tab called Educator Exercises. And you'll see that if I wanted to edit that, it is published. I can go in here and I can edit, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to do a drag and drop picture next, which is a little bit different. Let's go and have a look at an example so you know what we're doing. So we're going to grade 4 geography, and we're going to the map of South Africa. So the drag and drop picture is really great for maps. So this is an example here. So this is where you would label the map. Let me just make my screen wider. And you can also, if you were doing this, make your browser bigger here, so it's easier to see. So yeah, this is a drag and drop picture where you have to label the map. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to make it smaller so everybody can see my screen. And obviously the way this works is you just drag in your labels. Okay, so these are my labels and these are my picture, which I'm going to use for this exercise. I'm just going to do a couple there so you see how it works. There we go. So this will auto mark as well. I'm just going to submit, and I've got 2. Okay, so that's great for using for maps, but you can also use it for other things. You can use it for labeling something. So let's just go to NS grade 4 and have a look at one. I think it's in features of plants. Yep. Let's have a look at this one. So we are going to do something like this, parts of a plant. So again, you can label anything with this drag and drop picture. Works the same way. You're dragging labels onto a picture and then you press submit and it will auto mark. Okay, so we're going to do something similar to this one now. So I'm going back to educator exercises, and I'm going to, I could build it obviously on top of the last one that I did if it was an assessment. So I've got multiple different activities in one exercise, but I'm going to do it separately just for the sake of the demo. So again, press the plus button. Okay, I've created a new exercise. Let's put the details in. I'm going to call this parts of a plant. Whoops, let me just capitalize that. And I'm going to put this in S. So again, you must populate all of this information. Grade 4, I'm going to put it into life and living and features of plants. I'm going to publish because I want you guys to see it. As soon as we built it, I'm going to tick on NS, and most important, I have to save it. Okay, so I'm saved, and now I'm going to go to my preview screen, which is the first tab, which brings up my template for my drag and drop picture. Okay, so I press the plus button, and I'm going to choose drag and drop picture. Okay, watch what happens. All right, so what you see there is the template has appeared. And first of all, there is the activity size. We always leave it to 100%, so you don't need to edit that. Let's put an instruction in. I'm going to say drag the labels. Whoops. Drag the labels to the correct place to label the plant. Okay, again, you could copy that in from somewhere if you didn't want to type it, and you can make that bold, you can put color on it, you could bullet it, etc. I'm not going to. I'm just going to save that. I'm going to get rid of my dummy block here by deleting it. So I've deleted it. Okay, so now I'm left with my template here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get onto this white template, and I'm going to right click with my mouse, and I'm going to add an item, and I'm going to add my background image. So again, with your background image, you can compress it. I have got one which I've already compressed here. And again, make sure it's not huge. It mustn't be over 1 meg, but obviously at 1 meg, and you've got 20 learners doing this at one time, it's going to be slow. This one I've compressed to 130 what's it called, kilobytes. Okay, so you see I just inserted it there, and I just can move it around and make it the right size. I already had pointers put on. I did that before, so I think I've centered it nicely, and now I'm going to add my labels. Okay, so I can actually also set this, and I can lock it if I want to, but for now, I'm just going to add my text option. So again, I'm adding item, I'm adding a text option. Okay, it's saying add text here, and I'm just going to do 3 labels on here. We don't need to do 20. It's just to show you how to do this. And my first label is going to be flower. Okay, I've just clicked off it there. I'm going to make it bigger. As you can see, I just dragged the corners to make it bigger. Don't copy these labels, by the way. You have to create a new one for each one. Let's do the next one. Add item, add text option, and I'm going to call this leaf. Okay, this is going to be my leaf, and I'm going to make it bigger. There we go. I'm just clicking outside of there we go. I'm going to put leaf there, or you could put it there. Doesn't matter. All right, and then I'm going to do my last label, add item, add text option, and whoops. Oh, I can see that's got a little bit distorted. Let me straighten it up. Okay, don't leave a blank label in. That will affect the scoring. If I left this as a blank label, it would score out of 4 if I left it there by mistake. But I'm not going to. So you can see, let's just pull that out, make it a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, sorry, that moved then. And I'm going to put it here. Okay, I can fancy this up if I want to, but I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the way it is now. But let's say I wanted to make these in a different color. Let me show you how to do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, right click, and I'm going to say text options, font color, and then I can choose a font color. I'm just going to, let's say, make this one red. Okay, so that's gone into red. Let me show you that again with a different one. I'll just make them different colors for now, just so you can see. So text options, I'm going to make this a green label. So I've just chosen my color there, or you could put your hex number in there. And let's just do my last one. I'm going to make this a different color. Again, I wouldn't normally do this, but just to show you what it looks like. Let's make this one a blue label. There we go. Actually, I put a background color in there as blue. Okay, so instead of actually doing a font color, I've made the background blue. That is quite useful, actually, if you have, if you don't have labels like this, and you want to indicate to the learner where they should drag it to. We do suggest, though, that you make the background or the fill color a grayish or a light color, because when the learner submits this and it marks, what it does on a drag and drop, it will turn it red if it's wrong, and it will turn the background fill to green if it's correct. So you don't want to interfere with that. So we always like to do them in grey, so it doesn't interfere with the green and the red for the correct and incorrect. So you can see what I've done. I've put a fill in that one and I've changed the color. The other thing you can do is put an underline on. So let me just show you again, text option, toggle underline, and that will do an underline. Again, that's also very useful if you don't have arrows here, whatever you're trying to label, to indicate to the learner where they must drag the item to. So I've just put it on that one. Okay, so you can see there's various things I can do here. I don't want to show you too much, but there's obviously lots of other ways that you can pretty this up. But I think I'm happy with that. So I've created my labels as text and I've put my picture in. I'm going to save now. And let's go have a look at it. I've closed it. Remember, I only did 3 labels there, which is those 3. Let's go to NS. I said I put it in grade 4. I put it in features of plants. And it will come up as educator exercise. I think this is it. There we go. So there it is. And again, I've created my exercise and my memo at the same time. Let's just have a look, make sure we're happy with them. So there's the PDF. That looks great. So you could hand that out if you wanted to. Obviously, you could demo this on the screen. Let's see, make sure it works. So that's the leaf. Okay. It's going to take a bit of time, I think. The stem is, there we go. It's jumping to the right place there. The stem we put, remember the color fill there. You see, it is a bit difficult sometimes if you haven't indicated a block or an underline where the learner must drag it to. So this one, for example, the learner doesn't really know where to drag it to. I would say this is a much better option doing something like this. Let's take the stem to the right place. And then let's put the flower in. There we go. And the flower, yeah, because that's got an underline, that's also easier for the learner to know where to actually drag that to. Okay, there we go. So it's done. Those are my 3 labels on my picture. As I say, I wouldn't normally put different colors on like that, but just to show you what you can do. Let's submit it. And I've got 3 out of 3 correct. Okay, great. So pretty easy. Let's go back there. And if I wanted to publish and unpublish it, I would go and edit it here. So I could edit, and let's say I wanted to edit this, correct it. I can go back in and correct it, or I can go to the details page and unpublish it as well if I wanted to, and then save that so it's not visible. Just a couple of things on the drag and drop. The drag and drops are one type of activity that have to be completed in one sitting by the learner. So one session, not one sitting. They can't save a drag and drop, okay, because of the live script on it. So they have to start it and finish it in one session. It should be quite okay though, because they are normally very quick to complete. Okay, so just also to remind you, how easy it is to do those. So now at the end of the 4 sessions, if you've been for the last 4 sessions, you will be able to create about, I think, 10 or 11 different activity types with your own material on the educator exercise page. Put them live when you want your learners to use them or when you want to use them in your classroom. And then, obviously they're there forever on your profile and you can use them again and again. You can upgrade them, you can change them, etc. So hopefully you'll see how easy it is to do this. Let's just go to the resources just to remind you, we have updated all of our tutorials actually this week. So the one that you might want to refer to for the educator exercises, did this one yesterday. So there we go, is the tutorial is here step by step. And if you do want to download it as a PDF, you can download the attachment there. Okay, you might want to make it a little bit bigger on the screen, and then you can also go through in detail the ones that we did today, which are the last two, which are, where are they? The auto marked. So it is the drag and drop picture, which is that one where we labeled a plant, and there's the drag and drop grid as well. So that's somewhere on here as well. So you can have a look at those if you're a bit confused or I've gone too quickly for you, but I think, yeah, you will find it quite easy. The other thing that you can do, I'm just going to log out now, and I'm going to make my screen smaller, and then I'm going to come back into the room, is when you log out, you can also go to our YouTube video page, and if you click in here, you can then go to our playlists, and then you'll have a look at the playlist for educators, and you will see, I'm not going to let that play, all the exercise builders. So if you've missed a session, there's part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, which is what we've done today, which is the drag and drop grid and the drag and drop picture. So you can remind yourself with those videos there. I'm going to come back in the room and see if you have got any questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. And okay, I have stopped sharing my screen. Just a reminder, if you want to get your SACE points for the exercise builder, is please just drop us an email at info@mycyberwall.coza and just let us know you want us to do the register or send it to you so we can upload it to SACE for your SACE points. One of the things I would love you to do is that we do have a lot of schools that go onto School Advisor and give us a rating and review, which really helps us get other schools to buy in as well. And we would love you to go on and give us a good rating and a review on School Advisor. I've just copied the link in there. So if you just click on the link, you could just write a quick review, and we do appreciate that very much. The other thing is to remember the poll here. The poll, it's just a question to see if you feel confident to build the drag and drop exercises. It's confidential, so no one's going to see your answer. It's just for us to know that we've done the training correctly and answered your questions correctly. Any other training that you're interested in or that you've missed, please also let us know. We are going to be putting out a schedule for the first term of next year quite soon, and sending that to your key contact in your school. So any of your colleagues that have missed any of the training, or if they're new, they'll be able to catch up next term. So basically, I think we're done on time. We've got 2 minutes to go. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining us. If you have got any further questions, you'll see how very easy it is and quick and fun to build your own exercises now on My Cyberwall. We've covered all the different types, so I can just encourage you to go and give it a go. Try out building some different exercises, and I'm sure you'll find it's a lot of fun, and your learners are also going to love the new exercises that you build. So thanks very much for attending, and yeah, someone I can see they've made it with load shedding. Yeah, it's pretty awkward, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm going to say goodbye, but we will stay on until another 2 minutes. If you have got any particular questions about the drag and drops, or about any of the other exercise types, or about any other training that you would like to do. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you again soon.